welcome to the Brainstorm with Sparks and Finn, a podcast where we brainstorm the science and philosophy of a new age, an electric universe age, and what it means for the human race, past, present, and future. I'm Finn, author, editor, and F-tier electrical experimentalist.
And I'm Sparks, scientist, pyrotechnician, and S-tier experimentalist, decoding the secrets of plasma and the universe itself.
Also trying out passing a kidney stone this week.
Today's guest is a professor of physics at the University of Campinas in Sao Paulo, Brazil, molding young minds for 36 years, or else.
It rubs the electrode on its flesh to build up the charge.
Please, I ain't made out of magnets. I just want to go home.
It rubs the electrode on its flesh to build up the charge.
Introducing Andre Assis. Wash your unclean eyes, heathen, because today you bear witness to how electricity was discovered, as Professor Assis recreates the OG experiment that started it all. So buckle up and let's see where this one goes.
This will probably be edited out, but I'm a pyrotechnician. I build fireworks, and I used to build them down here.
Oh, no. Run! Run!
So we moved that.
You at least you survived without accidents, and so these are very dangerous. Yes,
they can be if you're stupid. But I still have all of my 10 fingers and toes. I'm very, very careful.
Just Ben, can you change my name? Put Andre Assis.
Yeah, because Matt has to change his too. He's got a funky name on his.
Good morning.
Hello, Frau.
I do have. Oh, great! You've exposed my secret to the world.
We were
Only
all
on
just changing our
Thursdays.
names. All right, Andre. This is my co-host, Matt Finn.
Nice to meet you, Matt.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. I understand that I'm about to be a lot more wonderful because you're going to be running some experiments for us this morning, right?
I hope so, yes.
Including the world's first electric motor?
Yes, we can call it like that. Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you very much.
All right, Andre, tell us about what you've done, where you're at, and just a little bit about you, if you would.
Okay. In the first place, I wish to thank Ben Sparks and Matt Finn for inviting me to their podcast, The Brainstorm. I'm very happy to be here with both of you today.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Brazilian. I'm a physicist, and I work at the University of Campinas in the state of Sao Paulo in Brazil. So I have been teaching there for 36 years now.
Awesome.
Oh, wow. That's great.
My PhD was in plasma physics, and I love history of science and hands-on experiments. I believe these are the best ones, especially in order to create new scientists so that people can do the experiments, think about that, and combined with history of science. That's the best teaching method for science that I know of. And so
I couldn't agree more.
Passionate about this. And so.
Yeah, Ben is your American counterpart.
Yes, okay.
All of these boxes right here, that's what I use for my hands-on science presentations. All of them.
Okay.
All of them are hands-on, Andre. I completely agree.
Okay. So if you, I was thinking today to present some experiments on electricity, and they are based on this book of mine, The Experimental and Historical Foundations of Electricity. It is in 2 volumes, and it has been published in Canada by Apeiron, and it is freely available in PDF format in my homepage. So later on, Ben, maybe he can include that in the description of the video.
We will.
We will.
Absolutely, we will.
Now, if I were going to read this book, would I come out of it with a basic understanding of how electricity works?
Okay, great, Matt. And my suggestion to all people whom I talked about this book is that it should be read at the same time as the person makes the experiments. So usually I say, only read chapter 5 after you made experiments of chapter 4.
So it guides you through.
So read chapter by chapter during the experiments. Don't read the appendices and so on. Go slowly and trying to digest, because there are many different ways to perform these experiments and different historical quotations and so on. So the important thing is to read at the same time as the person tries to make the experiments. Gotcha. That's my suggestion. So
I'd definitely burn my house down by chapter 3.
Okay. So can we begin?
Absolutely.
Please do. Yes. What have we got?
So when you don't see anything, just let me know if it's not, or if you don't hear me or anything.
Sure.
I will utilize my magic wand. It's just a plastic tube that I will rub with paper napkin, okay? Kitchen paper. So I will begin with the oldest experiment of electricity, which is called the amber effect.
Amber.
So amber is a...
Andre, get his stuff. I'm going to go get my stuff too.
Yes.
I don't know. Why amber?
Well, amber is a fossilized tree resin.
Yeah.
And so the oldest description we have of the experiment, which I will show now, comes from one of the dialogues of the philosopher Plato, 2,400 years ago.
Wow.
Sometimes people mention Thales, but nothing survived from Thales. And Plato and Aristotle, they don't mention Thales when they talk about this. So the oldest that we know for sure comes from Plato, and he just described it lightly. Don't spend much time on it. But the experiment, so I have here my magic wand, and if I approach, I have small bits of paper here. If I approach it here, nothing happens. Okay. Now I will just rub my magic wand. People who, if they try it at home, my suggestion is it works better the faster you rub. Okay. It's not, the pressure is not relevant, but the velocity is important. So the faster it helps. Then we get close to it, and it attracts these little bits of paper, okay?
Yes, it does.
So just some static electricity?
And so this is the oldest experiment we have. Plato did Yes, Ben, very nice. You have a PVC tube, right?
It is PVC. I was going to
Yes.
ask you, is yours PVC plastic or is it something else?
It's just a transparent plastic. I don't know. I believe this comes from these curtains or something, but I also do it as well with plastic straws. They work very well. And also with acrylic ruler, okay? Acrylic ruler, we can just rub it. It works fine as well. I know that nowadays in USA and in Europe, they don't sell any longer plastic straws. But in Brazil, we can buy them in every supermarket, no problems. But acrylic ruler works just fine, a PVC tube and so on. So these materials, they take the place of amber, okay? Amber is not so easy to find, but so this was the oldest experiment we know of electricity, and it's 2,400 years old, and it was just a curiosity. For 2,000 years, we didn't know nothing beyond that. Later on, during medieval times, people discovered another substance, jet, which is like a black rock made of bitumen or coal that also has this property that when you rub it in your hair, in your shirt, you can attract little bits of cotton, grass, paper, and so on. So this is
Andre, can I stop right there and just ask on that? We've been using paper towels, tissue paper to rub. Can we do this? Will it work rubbing on hair?
Yes, it worked just fine. We can rub that in our hair. Usually at school, high school, normally we do that, rubbing that in our hair. I can also rub that in my cotton shirt or even in my hand. Some of the experiments made by Stephen Gray, he did rub his tube in his bare hands, okay? And so we can rub it in my hair, in a shirt, in my bare hands, no problems. And essentially, we attract anything which is light, okay? Cotton, paper, even aluminum foil, even small insects. We can attract ants and so on.
Very small rock.
There is.
I'm going to try that.
Yes, there is a similar experiment which you can do very easily at home. We can go in our kitchen and let a very thin stream of water falling from the faucet, from the tap water. And then we rub, for instance, my acrylic ruler. Then I get very close to the stream and the water is attracted towards the plastic. Okay, so we can attract paper, aluminum foil, living organisms, spider, ants, mosquitoes, water, almost anything. Okay, we can attract, no problems. And we can
so going to do that with bugs.
Yes, we can rub plastic in almost anything that it will also work. Okay. So, but for 2,000 years, that was just a curiosity. Then, 400 years ago, there was a very important scientist, William Gilbert, in England. He was a medical doctor of the kings of England and so on. And he studied specifically magnetism. So in 1600, he published a very famous book on the magnet. And in this book, he made 1,000 experiments related to magnetism, discussing, yes, too many. And it's a large book, and he discussed a lot about the history, everything connected with magnetism, different theories, myths, things that don't work, and so on. And in this book, he did the main topic was magnetism, but he wanted to distinguish magnetism from this amber effect. And so he made a few experiments and many distinctions. For instance, a magnet, you don't need to rub it to attract. It just attracts naturally. And it attracts essentially only iron or materials which have iron in their composition. But amber, on the other hand, attracts anything: paper, water, bugs, aluminum foil, and so on. And we need to rub it before, okay? With a natural magnet, we don't need to rub it. It just attracts, and it has a specific attraction for iron. But I don't know if it was by chance or not, but this guy, William Gilbert, he created the oldest instrument for the study of electricity, which, as Matt said, we can call it the oldest electric motor. Okay, I will show it to you here.
This is so cool because anybody can do this and get this. Love this.
Yes, yes, anybody can do it. And I will always try to show how they are made and the instruments and how people can perform the experiments. So this experiment utilizes only a brass fastener, okay? So this is a usual paper fastener or brass fastener. I just deform it, the two legs, and with a nail and a hammer, I make a small deformation in the head of the fastener.
So it comes to a point.
Yes,
so
but we don't make a hole, just a small deformation.
A divot, yes.
So that it can be supported at the tip of a needle, okay? So the instrument has just one part, which is the fastener, okay? And I will just support it in a toothpick, okay? This one is a toothpick in a cork, but it can be a needle and anything. So I will try to show it here.
I'm gonna grab mine.
You have one?
Are you kidding?
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
So when you see, it is just supported here. So the deformation in the head of the fastener is just to prevent it from slipping.
Falling off. Right.
Falling off, yes. So I just put it here. It is just like a compass needle, but it's not magnetized, okay? So maybe Gilbert was doing experiments with compass needles, and one day he approached a rubbed amber and saw the compass needle being attracted, but he knew it was not magnetic. So he made maybe a similar, like a compass needle, but without being magnetized.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What did people think magnetism was before our modern theory of magnetism? They must have noticed it.
Yes, but there were too many different theories. People thought that something was like a similar substances, that there was something similar to iron in a magnet. So similar attracts similar and so on. And some people did think that when magnetism maybe ejected something around itself, and different models of explanation.
Hmm.
Isn't that the concept of the effluvium that you talked about before?
Yes, this effluvium is just like a matter that you can. Yes, Ben, I can see that you have
I got mine too.
versorium with you. So this name versorium was given by Gilbert. Okay, so when for instance, I have here a plastic, like a straw, plastic straw. When I get close to it, nothing happens, okay? But when I rub, now I will rub my plastic tube. When I rub it and get close to it, it immediately spins. Immediately, okay? So the essence is just to rub it, and I can run it to any side I wish. Okay, I can change the direction of rotation, just getting close, and it spins very fast because it has almost no friction. Okay, the friction is tiny, and this instrument is much more sensitive than attracting paper bits in the amber effect. Because when I try to attract paper bits, I need to go against gravity because I need to raise this substance. Also, they are light. I need to go against gravity. But with the versorium, it is already supported in the needle or the toothpick. So the gravity disappears there. So it needs only to turn. So a very weak force makes it turn. And sometimes this very weak force will not be enough to raise a paper bit or cotton or anything, but it can turn my versorium.
Mm.
So it is much more sensitive instrument than raising paper bits, okay?
Sure.
And Gilbert, sorry, Ben?
No, I just wanted to emphasize that, and I don't want people to miss that. When you said it's a more sensitive instrument, I can't overexpress how true that is, because, and I really want people to pay attention to that, because you're not fighting gravity anymore.
Yes, this is crucial, Ben. Let me just show an example with the versorium itself. You see, this fastener, it is a large one. It is heavy.
Yeah.
It is heavy. Yeah. If I just let it here on the table and I rub it, it does not move upwards. I can get close to it. It does not move a millimeter, nothing, because it is heavy. But when it is supported here, I just get close to it and immediately it spins.
That is so cool.
You see, I cannot move it upwards, but I can spin it immediately, very easily. So yes, Ben.
People think that you need really expensive equipment to understand the fundamental principles around us, and we don't. I mean, that's just a red nail. This is a folded piece of paper, PVC pipe, a toothpick. I mean, just simple, but you can demonstrate such fantastic stuff with this.
Show yours, Ben, please. Show your versorium spinning, please.
Well, I'm going to cancel construction on my Hadron Collider then.
Okay.
Mine, it's so strong that it just knocked it off. And this isn't even the metal one. This is just a folded piece of paper.
Yes.
So
my suggestion is that you just get close to one leg from the horizontal side. Yes. And so, and you see, and it spins or it moves. You see, Ben's versorium is made of paper. Mine is made of metal, brass. And so, but you see, I cannot raise my brass fastener, but I can spin it very easily. Mm-hmm. So how did Gilbert utilize this instrument? As I said, for 2,000 years, we knew only about amber. And then during medieval times, people discovered, by chance, I guess, that jet, this black rock, kind of rock, also attracts when you rub it. But you only knew that. That was a curiosity. But then Gilbert utilized his versorium to discover other substances, which, when they are rubbed, they can attract piece of matter. In his case, can turn his versorium. And so he discovered many different substances which behave like amber. That is, after you rub them, you can spin your versorium.
I have a question with that.
Yes?
Andre, when he said he discovered many different substances, will everything do that? Just to a greater or lesser degree?
No, this is the point, Ben. That's the point. He discovered some substance which did behave like amber. And amber, the word amber in Greek is called electron. So Gilbert called this substance which did behave like amber electrics. Okay?
Why?
Just electric, the meaning is amber-like. Okay? This substance, they are like amber. After you rub them, you can attract something, or you can make your versorium turn. And other substance that when you rub and you do not move your versorium, we call them non-electric. Okay? Yes, Matt?
How did amber and electricity get this? Like, why are they equated?
No, just the name. Amber in Greek, we spell it electron. And
but why? Why did the Greeks refer to amber with the same word they refer to electricity?
No, it's the opposite. The word amber in Greek is electron.
But what does electron mean to a Greek? Did they have any concept of electricity at all?
Amber.
Well, I get that, but
and so
how do I articulate this?
Yeah, and this word in principle, there is no analogous word in English. In English, we have amber. In Greeks, they say electron. And so Gilbert created this word electric to mean like amber. He could say it amber-like.
But what does electricity have in common with amber?
No, because it was how the effect was discovered.
Oh,
the oldest experiment we had was with amber. It was with amber. That comes from Plato, 2,400 years ago, from Plato. He utilized amber, okay? And then during medieval times, they did discover jet. If they had discovered the other way around,
it would be called jet.
Named jet-like. I don't know how we say jet in Greek, but then he would utilize this word jet in Greek, and he would say, these are jet-like substances. Okay. but so the word electric, electron, electricity, electrostatics, electrician, everything comes from amber in Greek. Okay.
All because of that first experiment.
Yes, because it was a very specific substance. For 2,000 years, we didn't know any other substance, Matt.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. And so
it really is.
And so it was very specific for this substance. But with Gilbert, no, because now he opened the box. He had a very sensitive instrument. And for instance, which substance did he discover that behaved like amber? Diamond, for instance.
Diamonds? Like a diamond ring? Like a diamond ring?
Yes.
Like a diamond ring?
A diamond, a precious jewel. If you rub diamond in your hair, you can attract small bits of paper. And he did discover other precious, other substance that did behave like amber. I will quote a few of them. So we know amber, jet, diamond, amethyst, opal. These are all precious gems, but also sulfur, sealing wax or lac, resin, mica. So, but you see, in order to discover these, you cannot try to attract paper bits because they will not move, but you can spin a versorium because they get a very feeble electrification. Amber acquires a large electrification, but these other substances, they acquire a tiny amount of electricity.
So there's something about amber that makes it capture electrons more easily when you're rubbing something on it, right?
I will not talk about electrons at the moment, Matt. We'll discuss that at the end, because this is a very important topic. But it reminds me of this comment of yours, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna get to
amber
that.
has something specific because when you rub it, it acquires a high density of surface charges, if you wish, okay? A high degree of electrification, higher than these other substances. On the other hand, for instance, I can try to rub a piece of metal, okay? We will do the experiment now, because this is a very important one. I can try first with the...
You would think metal would work well.
You would think.
I will repeat the amber experiment, but now with a piece of metal, okay?
Okay.
I have here paper bits, aluminum foil bits, and I approach my piece of metal, nothing happens. Now I will rub it, okay, my paper napkin in front of the camera, okay? I'm rubbing it, and now I get close to it. Nothing happens.
Nothing.
My
okay?
God.
So amber is very specific. Okay, now I will try the same with my versorium, because the versorium is very sensitive, Matt.
Right.
So I will repeat, because it was very easy to spin the versorium with my plastic tube. Now I will try to repeat it with my piece of metal, okay? First, so it is at rest, so I get very close to it, to one side, to the other side. It does not move, not at all.
Nothing.
Now I will rub it, okay? I'm just rubbing it. Fast, very fast. Now I get close to it. Nothing.
What if you rub the metal with something more abrasive?
You can do with anything. You can try at home with anything. I can rub it in my hair very briskly.
Nothing works, huh?
Nothing happens. I can rub it very briskly in my cotton tissue.
Andre, what type of metal is that?
I don't know. I don't know. But any kind of metal. You can try with copper, aluminum.
I'm gonna go grab my copper one.
Any kind. I can rub my another brass. I can rub it another brass. Okay, just rub it here.
Ooh,
one leg. I'm just rubbing it here, and now I get close.
Nothing.
Nothing happens. Okay. So this was the classification made by Gilbert. Gilbert said, materials which do not spin the versorium, he called non-electric. That is different from amber. They are not amber-like. The materials which did spin the versorium, he called they are amber-like. He called them electrics. And the materials, just like a piece of metal, which does not mix anything with the versorium, he called them non-electric. This was the first classification made in electricity. Later on, we did abandon this classification. We can discuss that later on, not now. But it was a very important one made by Gilbert. And so, which other substances did not spin his versorium after being rubbed? So every kind of metal didn't move the versorium. He did specify a few of them, but any kind of metal, we can try with gold, silver, copper, iron, nothing will, when I hold it in my hand and try get close to the versorium, it will not move. He had also some precious jewels like agate, pearl, coral, marble, ivory. This substance also didn't move his versorium. Woods, different kinds of wood he did try, ebony, cedar, cypress. None of them did move his versorium. Lodestone, you can rub a piece of lodestone and it will not spin the versorium.
Really? Aren't those
Really?
magnetized? Wow.
Yes, lodestone does not move the versorium. If you try it, flesh, he did try flesh, rub it, and it does not move the versorium.
Like hit his own flesh, or like he grabbed a piece of meat.
He just said
Some
flesh.
lady off the street.
I don't know. He cut a piece of flesh. At that time there was no refrigerator, but maybe, I don't know. So
We don't know how he stored his flesh.
yes, maybe it was salty flesh. I don't know, but he did mention that. And so
Salted flesh doesn't work either.
yes. And so you see, so the substance which did behave like amber, he called them amber-like. So he created this name, electric, okay? And the substance like metal, lodestone, and others that you can rub in anything, in paper, in your skin, in a cotton shirt, in your hair, and you get close to the versorium, it does not move at all. These substances, he did call them non-electric. That is, they are not amber-like, okay? So this was very important. Now I will make a different kind of experiment, because in the first experiment I showed to you, I did attract paper beads. With the versorium, I am attracting metal, okay? Brass fastener, okay? But you see, we only see attraction. But in everyday life, in electricity, we talk in the textbooks, we talk about attraction and repulsion, but we never see repulsion in reality. In reality, we only see attractions.
Yeah, the only time you see repulsion is when you're trying to put magnets together that don't go. It's
yes,
like
but that is with magnets,
yeah.
not with electricity.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, so in electricity, we talk about attraction and repulsion. We begin talking about this in history, in every textbook, but in reality, we never see. Whenever the amber effect is attraction, okay? You attract a stream of water, you attract your versorium, you always see attractions, okay? Different from what we talk about in the textbooks. But now I will show a different kind of experiment.
Woohoo!
This second experiment, in the...
We need a drum roll here.
Oh, I gotcha.
In the versorium, my instrument has only one component, which is the fastener, okay, brass fastener. the third experiment, which I will do today, the first was the amber effect. The second was this versorium of Gilbert. The second instrument has two components, which is can be, in this case, aluminum foil disc, or can be also a paper disc, A4 paper, office paper, and a thread, okay? So this instrument has only two components. But I can do the experiment in my hand, just as I'm holding it here, but it's not so convenient. And then I will make just an equipment to make the experiment easier. So it's called an electric pendulum. So here I have my disc, my thread, and I just tie it at the tip of a plastic straw.
Does it have to be a plastic straw?
Yes, here I have another brass fastener. I just put it here, and I take a second straw here. It's very convenient. Oh. So now I have a pendulum here. Okay, I have a pendulum here. And I can do the experiment here, but it's not so easy because I would need to hold it. So I will just put a support. This is a plastic coffee cup. I make a hole at the bottom and pass another brass fastener. And then I fill it with plaster or modeling clay. So it's for some weight, just to support it here.
My God. You could do this in a homeless camp.
Oh my God.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So this costs nothing, but very convenient. Now I can do the experiment.
I'm a positron.
No, don't.
Okay, so this is just my support. I have one plastic straw here, another plastic straw. They are connected by a brass fastener. The thread is tied at the tip of this plastic straw, and my aluminum foil disc is here. Okay,
got it.
Now I can let it here, and I can control the height. Okay. Now I will do the experiment. So, once again, if I have a...
I'm ready. I'm armed. I'm armed with science.
Nerds!
If I have a plastic straw that I didn't rub, and I get close to it, nothing happens, okay?
Nothing at all.
It does not move, okay? But now I will rub my plastic straw in my paper napkin, okay?
Oh, I'll move it with my mind powers.
When I rub it, take notice, then I will get close to it. So from this side, you see, the aluminum foil disc goes towards my rubbed plastic tube.
Right.
Okay. If I come at this
Did you do
side,
that with your mind, Matt?
Towards this side. If I come this side, it comes toward this side. Okay. Once more, we are seeing attractions here.
Mm.
But take notice, because now I will show something new.
Yeah, I'm sick of all these attractions.
Yes, Matt. Now I will see something new. Take notice, because when I get close, something new will happen.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
You see? Now it is moving away from my straw.
Oh.
This is repulsion. Okay? A very strong repulsion.
What the deuce?
Wait.
Okay? But how did it happen? Now I will explain how can, so it is at rest. If I come close again, it is repelled again. You see?
When you touch,
I can come close, it continues to be repelled. To begin again, I just need to touch this disc with my finger. Now I rub it again.
Is this how the bullet train works?
Now I come close and it is being attracted. I came close and it is being attracted again towards both sides. Okay? In order to see repulsion, the crucial aspect is to let both of them touch the aluminum foil disc and my rubbed straw or my rubbed plastic tube. When they touch one another, immediately they begin to be repelled. Let me show again. Take notice because it is a very subtle moment. And immediately after they touch, they are being repelled. If I let them there and come close again, it will continue to be repelled.
So Andre, not to jump ahead to this is amazing, and I'm doing it right with you.
Just to if I wish to begin again, I just need to touch here. I don't need to stick, just touch it here, lightly. Then if I come close, it begins to be attracted again. I cannot let them touch one another. If they touch one another, immediately they begin to be repelled.
So it's reversing the polarity when they touch? Or is that
yeah.
So these, before we go to the explanation, Matt, this is a very simple experiment with a very specific instrument, this electric pendulum, in which we can easily see repulsion.
Are you a wizard?
Just like a wizard, yes. But you see, these may seem, oh, that's trivial, and so on. But you see, until the time of Isaac Newton, no one knew about that. For 2,000 years, everyone working with electricity only saw attraction. For 2,000 years, beginning with Plato, the old philosopher, and so on, medieval times, Arabic scientists, and so on, people who made translations, and so on, and so on, and so on. No one ever saw repulsion with electricity. It was not discovered like that, but this is a very simple instrument to show repulsion. But this is something completely new, young, let's say, young in the history of electricity, which has 2,500 years. So repulsion is something new in the last 400 years, essentially. Ben, what would you ask or say about this that I did interrupt you?
Oh, no, I've got a bunch of thoughts in my head, but I'm thinking, Andre, that maybe it's the fact that they did notice it, but nobody wrote it down. Because I can think of...
Maybe, but no one mentioned it. And so we cannot be sure.
No one mentioned it.
Because does this have something to do with gravity?
No,
I don't know how.
Let me tell you. The first thing, when I did, why does it showing repulsion after contact? And we don't see repulsion in the amber effect. Because in the amber effect, I am rubbing it, I'm attracting bits of paper and they touch here. So why they are not repelled? Sometimes they are repelled, Matt. But as they fall to the ground, people thought, well, it is just falling to the ground because of gravity. So the first function of the thread is to eliminate the weight, essentially, because the weight is balanced by the upwards force exerted by the thread. And so I just move it sideways, just like my versorium. okay? But that's not only this aspect. I will come back later on to this instrument. So it may seem very simple, but it's not. Behind it, there are some mysteries, which I will come back later on, okay? Just take time, okay? I'm just showing an easy experiment to show anyone can do it at home. In 15 minutes, you build an electric pendulum like that, and you can perform the experiment, okay? But later on, I will come back to it. With the versorium, we don't see repulsion. We only see attraction, okay? But with the electric pendulum, we can see repulsion. Not with the versorium. With the versorium, which I showed to you, we only see attraction. So Gilbert never saw repulsion, anything like that. No one working with these versoriums did see repulsion.
I see repulsion everywhere I go.
We're all repulsed by you, Matt.
Maybe. Nowadays, maybe.
Matt's having an emotional moment here from science.
Yes. Psychological moment.
We're touching those deep-seated rejection issues we have.
Bad strokes are better than no strokes, Ben.
Wow.
Now,
all right.
Now I will make another experiment. So let me repeat. Hey. How can we see repulsion? What is essential, Ben and Matt?
You would think a different pole, another pole.
Yes, but what did needs to in practice? When do I see repulsion of the aluminum foil disc? In which moment?
Take it away, Matt.
When it touches, it seems like
yes, when they touch. Okay, so that's the crucial. So there is attraction. If we let them touch after contact, they are repelled. Okay.
Why?
This mechanism was discovered by a French scientist called Dufay, okay? And this was described, if I'm not mistaken, in 1733, 5 years after the death of Isaac Newton, okay?
So he just missed the explanation. Isaac Newton just missed the explanation. He just, if he would have lived 5 years longer.
But the phenomenon itself, he didn't see the phenomenon of repulsion in electricity. Isaac Newton didn't knew about repulsion in electricity. He knew about repulsion in magnetism, but not in electricity. Okay.
Can I interrupt one quick moment?
Yes.
Could this have something to do with what's happening in a double layer when ions connect one cylinder and then flip polarity and get accelerated through the next?
Maybe, but we are still going too far ahead in time and so on and so on.
Way to go, man.
Now I will show you a similar experiment, okay? So in order to see repulsion, it is crucial to have contact, okay?
Right.
Let me give you a hug, Matt. Oh. Let me give you some contact. There.
Instant repulsion.
Oh, my breath that bad?
Seems okay.
Actually, I want to dive into that, but I also want to see the experiments of like why we didn't see repulsion in electricity prior to 17, whatever it was. But anyway, Andre, go ahead.
Okay, so the other experiment which I will do, here I have like a dandelion seed, okay? So I will make the experiment. If I just let it fall, it goes down, okay? Now I will rub my plastic tube again. This is a magic wand. And when I say correctly the magic words, Wingardium Leviosa. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. So the
Very well,
dandelion
Potter.
seed is here. Okay.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Now it goes.
There it goes. There it goes. There it goes.
What?
Yeah.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Yes.
That's what it
Wingardium
needed.
Leviosa. I can control it
crap.
as long as I wish with my magic wand. Okay.
That's so cool.
Okay, this is where it gets crazy. I've watched him do this experiment before. This is where it gets interesting.
All right.
But you see, Matt, this is the same kind of experiment with the electric pendulum. The dandelion seed comes down, touches my rubber plastic tube, and then it gets repelled.
Yeah.
It's not immediately because it is too many small legs here. It's a little sticky and it stays there. And sometimes I need either to blow or to make it a fast move, okay, to release it from my magic wand. So I will repeat the experiment. Yes, go ahead.
Could it be that part of that little fuzz is still attracted while other parts are still negative, so it's clinging while also trying to repulse?
No doubt, no doubt, because it's complex, too many small pieces here, and so it's just like cotton. If
that
people
seems like
want
an important
to do
distinction.
it at home, the secret is that you can do it with cotton, but the best one is with dandelion seed. But if people do that at home with cotton, it needs to be very light so that it takes like 10 seconds to go down 1 meter. So it be very slowly. It cannot be fast, otherwise it will not work. Okay?
So I can't just drop my shirt on it.
No. So it needs to be very light. It needs to take 10 seconds to go down 1 meter, okay, typically. So I will repeat it again, because this is a crucial experiment for many reasons. It's a beautiful one, just like Harry Potter, but it's much more important than that, okay?
It's okay, not my type.
It is just here. I will just move it fast, okay? Okay. Okay, it's already. Let me leave this my black shirt.
There we go. There we go.
Very good, very
You
good.
can control it a long time here.
This
Yeah,
is
how long will it
Slytherin
stay up?
magic. Actually, that's a good question. Andre, how long will it stay up?
1 minute, easily.
And then will it slowly just sink down after that?
Yes, after that. And because with time, my plastic tube loses its electrification. Slowly, but it loses its electrification.
Gotcha. Don't trip over your chair. I mean, it'll make great content, but
okay. But you see, I'm a long time here.
Yeah, we're at least at 30 seconds now.
Yeah, you can turn on your watch. Let's see. I can stay longer.
I'm timing you now, actually. Still.
And I cannot be stationary because otherwise it will fall one side or the other of the wand. Okay. Right. So 1 minute. Okay.
Sure.
Yes, Ben.
I'm wondering if we could get a little bit more complicated. If we were to get a charged plate, how long and like not a Van de Graaff generator, but just charge a plate instead of a wand, how long it would actually stay up. I'm going to do that. I am so going to do that. I'm going to build that.
Let me now make another modification of this experiment, okay? Now I will repeat the levitation with my magic wand. And while I am levitating the dandelion seed, I will approach a PVC tube, which I will also rub, okay? But this one, I will not touch the floating dandelion seed. Just get close. Let's see what happens, okay?
Here we go.
So I will make the levitation. While I am levitating the dandelion seed, this one I will also rub and get close to it. So you have two tubes, which I did rub, but only one of them, the dandelion seed did touch it, only the first one, okay?
Right.
So let us do it here. So I will begin rubbing my plastic tube, this one. I will also rub this one. Now I will release my dandelion seed.
You're free.
Fly! Fly, my pretty!
Okay, now it is repelling, okay? Let me get close to it. A little more.
Expelliarmus!
Okay, it's being repelled, okay?
We have achieved repulsion.
Okay.
There it goes.
Now I
There
come
it
with
goes.
the other one. This one I need to rub it. This one
You
does
need
not.
another set of hands.
This one does not get so good electrification as the other one. It loses faster.
You need to acquire some flesh.
You need more flesh. More flesh.
Okay.
All right,
So
there we go.
now I am levitating. And now I get with the other one. You see, this other one is also repelling my dandelion seed.
We've got dual
But the
levitation.
dandelion seed did touch only the first one.
But they both repel.
But both repel. Yes, Max. That's it. Okay. So that's the point. So you are right, Matt. So I did rub the first one. The dandelion seed touched it and began to be repelled. Then I approached the second one, which was rubbed, and it did also repel the dandelion seed.
Because the dandelion seed acquired the same polarity from the first one.
Yes, the same charge as my first tube, okay? And the same charge as this one as well. So both of them, they are repelling. The first guy to make this experiment, it was not Dufay. It was in 1672 by Otto von Guericke. Guericke is the guy who created the air pump, okay? The vacuum pump or the air pump. And this guy, he made a sulfur globe of the size of a head, connected it with a handle, and he could spin it very fast. And he did rub the sulfur globe in his hand. Okay.
Did you say sulfur?
Sulfur globe.
Okay, sulfur.
Sulfur, yes. So he did spin it very fast in his bare hands and did rub it. And so it became electrified. Then he released a piece of cotton. It touched the rubbed sulfur globe and began to be repelled. Okay, just as I did it here. So this was in 1672. Then this experiment was repeated in 1708 by Stephen Gray. And then it was repeated by this Dufay, this French scientist, in 1732 or so. He gave a name for this phenomenon: attraction, contact, and repulsion. He called it ACR mechanism. Okay, first you are attracted, then you get in touch. After you get in touch, you begin to be repelled. Okay, and then this was this Dufay. Now I will try to make another. Then Dufay did make this experiment with two rubbed tubes, just as I did here. Okay, so he did rub two tubes, and he observed that then he didn't do the experiments dandelion seed. He did utilize a very thin gold leaf, just like aluminum foil. Let me try to repeat. But then one day, he made something quite remarkable. Quite remarkable. One of the most fascinating experiments in the history of electricity. Let me see if we can do it here. So I will just rub my plastic tube, and I will just release my dandelion seed. Okay.
Did it again. Touches it and then it repels.
Just a moment. I just tried to do it again, because this is a crucial one. It does not always work.
Which is curious in and of itself.
Yes.
Why would it only work sometimes?
Okay, now it is levitating, okay? Now, you see, now I can approach it from above.
Oh, it's pulling.
Levitate it from below. Let me try to repeat, because this is crucial.
Oh,
it did work, but
we saw it.
You need to take notice, because this is a crucial experiment. Take notice, Ben. Later on, you try it on your site. Take notice. Yes, later on. I will just try to repeat. This is a very important one. Take notes, everyone, please. I just begin by...
Okay, attraction, contact, repulsion.
So
what we see.
I am repairing it. Okay, can you see?
Yes. Yeah.
Now I will come from above. I can repel it from below or attract it from above.
Right.
We saw that the first time you did it. It was visible on camera.
And
there it is again. There it is again.
Okay. See. But this is new. I just showed to you, because when I rub one and I rub a second one, both repel the dandelion seed. But now one of them is repelling, but the other is attracting.
Why?
And this, I will just explain it, Matt. I try to repeat one more time, because this is very fascinating.
Yeah.
Not only fascinating, but extremely important from the historical point of view.
Maybe it's opening up a gravitational collapse.
Just try to see it again.
Along dark mode.
Okay, I am repelling it.
There must be a
from below.
Dark energy scaffolding. Maybe it's packets of warm air rising and starting a spin.
Yeah, so how did I do it? Let me now explain to you.
Yes, please.
This one, I did rub it with my paper napkin. Okay. This one, I did also rub it with a paper napkin. But this one, which I did attract from above, I did rub it with Teflon tape in my fingers.
Teflon tape? Plumber's tape?
Yes, plumber's tape.
Yeah.
Yes. So
why would that make it the opposite polarity?
Why, I don't know, but I know that it does. Why is another question. I don't know how to answer that. But by trial and error, Matt, everything in which I rub a plastic tube, in a paper napkin, in my hair, in my cotton shirt, in my bare hands.
Flesh.
My skin, in my skin at least. I don't know flesh, but in my skin, everything, the plastic tube becomes negatively electrified. But for some reason, when I did rub it in plumber's tape, in my two fingers, it acquires the opposite polarity. In this case, positive. Okay?
Every time I fix a leak and I use that stuff, I feel really happy when it's not leaking anymore. Maybe we're infusing the Teflon with positive.
That can be the case.
That is weird,
Andre,
though. What is Teflon
that
got?
is very
Why Teflon? So Teflon is nonstick, right? What else does it have that would do that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Other substances that do that?
The explanation, I don't know. But I know that this I discovered by, this is what we call the triboelectric series.
Oh.
And so depending on the material on with what you rub, any kind, in this case a plastic tube, depending on the material, and it can acquire one type of charge or the second kind of charge, which we call positive or negative. Okay, with most substance it becomes negatively electrified, but with plumber's tape or Teflon tape it becomes positively electrified. Okay, so when my dandelion seed did touch my tube, it was negative. So the dandelion also becomes negative because they did get in touch. So it is floating because both are repelling one another. Then when I get with a positively electrified straw, they will be attracted. So I can float it from above because they are being attracted. Okay? But you see, but the point is, it was exactly this experiment which made this guy, this French scientist, Dufay, create this idea of two different kinds of electricity.
I bet.
Sure. One repels
until
one.
that time, and that is after the death of Isaac Newton. People only knew about attraction, only knew about electricity, that when you rub, you attract light piece of substance. They didn't know about electrical repulsion. They didn't know about two kinds of electricity. And they also didn't know about conduction and insulators. Everything came after the death of Isaac Newton. That's
crazy.
Crazy, completely
that
crazy.
That means our ideas of gravity came out before we had any understanding of the electric force. And
yes, sure.
Which could be why
we knew a lot about magnetism because of the compass needle, its importance for navigation, and so on, for millennia.
What I don't understand is what's the difference between this and magnetism? Aren't they the same thing on a fundamental level?
There is one that will be the top of my next experiment, and then we will understand everything that I'm talking about. Yeah. But before that, I would like to read here the words of Dufay. That was in 1733. Isaac Newton was dead for 5 years then. So how did he describe this experiment? Let me read it here. 1733, Charles Dufay, French scientist. I began by floating in air a thin gold leaf. So instead of my dandelion seed, he did float a very thin gold leaf, just like aluminum foil, but it's very difficult to do it nowadays, even with aluminum foil. With dandelion seed, it is easier. So he was levitating by this attraction, contact, and repulsion mechanism, ACR mechanism, as he called it. Then he continues, but what disconcerted me prodigiously was the following experiment. This one in which he saw attraction and repulsion, which I showed here. He continues, I confess I had expected quite the opposite effect. He didn't expect to see attraction. As I showed with the two first electrified tubes, he expected to see always repulsion. After the dandelion seed was repelled once, everything should repel it. Everything rubbed should repel it in his mind. But that he didn't find it. Then he continues. This made me think that there were two different kinds of electricity. I will call one of them vitreous electricity. This is what we nowadays call positive electricity. He didn't utilize this positive and negative nomenclature. And the other kind of electricity I will call resinous electricity, because one of them, which was a glass tube, did repel the gold leaf. And when he did rub a resin, the resin did attract the gold leaf. And so for this reason, he gave the name vitreous and resinous electricity. He continues, both kinds repel the bodies which acquired an electricity of the same nature as that of their own. On the contrary, they attract the bodies having an electricity of a different nature than their own. You see, this is the first time in history in which we learn that thing that is the first thing that we learn in any high school, university textbook, that we have positive and negative charge, positive repel positive, negative repel negative, and positive and negative attract. But you see, the first time this was discovered was 5 years after the death of Isaac Newton by this French guy.
So why is that significant?
What?
Why is that significant? Why is that significant that it was
because,
5 years
because
after?
that shows, Ben, that this is very young in the history of science.
Oh, okay.
Well, not only that, but I suspect if the discovery of these things had come first, we might have different theories about how gravity works.
Gee, I wonder why.
No doubt, maybe. But not only that. If Isaac Newton knew about these things, my God, what he could have discovered would be even more unbelievable. Because
the apples would have been coming from every direction.
Oh, well, that gives me an idea. Oh, what is? Oh my gosh! Oh.
Yes, probably.
But Andre, I've heard you express that before.
This was a suggestion, a postulate by this Dufay, that we have two different kinds of electricity. And he was cautious about that. And even this idea, it was not accepted immediately. Franklin didn't accept that. Many people, they didn't accept that. And so it took many years until later on they did come back. Until the time of Coulomb, people were not sure about these two kinds of electricity, but nowadays we all talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
But you see, the discovery or the postulate or the suggestion that there are two kinds of electricity came with this dandelion seed experiment.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Fascinating. Wow. So this is not only a beautiful experiment to do, especially at school with the students and so on, but in the history of science, it was exactly this experiment which led to the postulate of two kinds of electricity.
That is the heart of science right there. Just a simple little observation and trying to figure out what it means.
Professor Assis, I have a question.
Yes.
A big surprise, I know. what we're seeing with the dandelion seed, we could, maybe this is going to be really stupid. Forgive me if it is. We're seeing essentially a DC type of electricity. One direction.
So stupid.
Hey, shut up, Matt. When we have power generation in power plants, we talk about it as it's AC production. We have a motor spinning and it changes the poles from north to south, and it creates a push-pull of electricity. Is that what's going on? It is like the power that's powering our lights and our computers.
I would say, Ben, that it is simpler than that, because it is just this: when the dandelion touches the negative tube, it also becomes negative, and so they repel. And when I rub the
Andre, we just lost your audio there for a second. You said when you rub the other straw with the Teflon tape, is that what you said?
Yes, then it did become positive, okay. And so it will attract the negative dandelion seed. Okay, so
okay, got it. Just wanted to make sure everybody heard that because the audio cut out.
Yes. Now,
so when the plastic straw is negative, and when it touches the Teflon, it becomes positive.
No. The plastic is neutral. When I rub it with paper, it becomes negative.
Okay.
And when I rub it with Teflon tape, it becomes positive.
Why?
Why I don't know. I just know it is like that. Okay.
That's crazy.
This is trial and error. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I will show you another experiment, which I believe it is the simplest that I will show today, but it is the most important of them all. Okay.
Oh, really?
Oh, I thought the last one was.
Yeah, you've already thrown out some bangers. This is gonna be good.
Yeah. Okay, let's double down on it. Here we go.
Mind blown.
This third experiment. So, in my first instrument had one element, which was my fastener, brass fastener.
Right.
My second instrument had the two elements, the disc and the thread. My third instrument has three components. It is a plastic straw, a cardboard, and a thin tissue paper strip, kite paper. Okay, I just glue it here.
All right.
But in the other extremity, it is free to move. Okay, so this has three components: the plastic straw, the cardboard, and the strip. Okay.
All right.
So I can do the experiment in my hand, but that's not so convenient. So I will utilize my support, which is my plastic coffee cup with a fastener and a plaster here. Just put it here. Okay. Now I can support it anywhere. So I will do the experiment now.
Me too. I love how these experiments are so simple and easy to do. Because I don't know about you, Matt, but I've got all these materials right here about 5 feet from me.
Yes, and not only that, Ben, but they cost nothing. So any student, any teacher, high school teacher, university teacher, they can do it. Not only can do it, but normally when I make classes for high school teachers and so on, each one of them builds these instruments, the versorium, the electric pendulum, and this is called the electroscope. And they build it, they do the experiments, and at the end of the class, they carry it home as a gift. So you can make 50 electric pendulums, 50 versoriums, 50 electroscopes by $10. I don't know, even less.
You'd be like the scientific Santa Claus, just giving them away.
Yes,
What
so
the dollar
that they
store?
can carry that home and they can do these experiments at home, especially the students, high school students, university students. They will not only see the teacher performing the experiments, but each student will build the equipment, his own equipment, will do the experiments and will carry it home as a gift. Okay, to me that's crucial. So
it is so important to have people have hands-on with the thing they're doing.
Sure,
instead of just always being talked at.
No, and equations in the blackboard and so on, that does not help. Well, that's important. That's important, but to me this is even more important for people to grasp the concept. Now take notice of this experiment, because so this is called electroscope. This is simple, but the most important instrument that I will show today. Let me put this one here. Let me see. It's better.
Andre, did you attach the little piece of paper with just a piece of tape?
No, a glue. Glue is better. Glue is better because the tape, sometimes the tape goes beyond the border and that can create some... so just a drop of glue here. Okay. And this must be very thin. Normally in Brazil, we can do it with kite paper, but in Brazil at least, they sell these papers for wrapping candies. In supermarket, we buy, for instance, in supermarket, I can buy a bag like that with 50 sheets of this one, and they already come just with the strips here. So, but you can do that with a scissor, no problems at all.
That's what I just did. I just cut mine.
It can also be paper napkin here. Okay, paper napkin works fine as well. They need to be very thin. That's the important thing. Okay.
That's and so if it's thing. Not if it doesn't work, that people can just cut it. They can just do it again and attach it,
thinner and so on.
Thinner and thinner. That's what I'm going to do, actually.
Yes.
I just noticed my paper isn't as thin or as long as yours, so I'm going to recut mine right now. But okay. So this one is about twice as long. The Chinese call that prayer paper.
Yes, okay.
I mean, we call it tissue paper or kite paper. Chinese call it prayer paper. That's the same stuff. Okay. That's nice and thin.
Now,
thin like thin.
Now I will do first a few experiments and then I show the most important one, okay?
Yes.
So just so when I approach a plastic tube which has done nothing to it, nothing happens, okay? Nothing happens. But now I will rub my plastic tube. As usual, Matt and Ben, normally fast is better, okay? The faster you rub, the more electrified will become your plastic tube. Then I can come close to the strip. It is attracted, okay? Just like we saw in the amber effect or with the versorium, okay? It is attracted, no problems in there. And but now, what I will do now is different. Now I will scratch my rubbed plastic tube on the cardboard here. I will really stretch it here. So take notice what happens to the strip. Just give a look. Then you try, Ben. Give a look first. I will really scratch it here. You can see the strip is up. Okay, so this is an electroscope. I'm electrifying it. The more I scratch, the higher it goes. Can you see? Let me come closer here.
Oh, absolutely. We saw it. Can I do mine now?
So the more I scratch, it's very sensitive instrument. Very sensitive instrument.
Andre, are you charging your rod in between it, like every time?
Yes, every time I do rub it a little more so that it's more electrified, and then I scratch it here. Okay. So I am your is a little electrified, then mine is more sensitive. But later on, you try it later on. Just take notice now. Just take notice now.
I just got excited. Go ahead.
Yes, I know. But take notes because, and this is not yet the most important experiment, okay? But this is, I am showing that when I scratch, I electrify it. The same thing happened with the electric pendulum when it did touch and it did become electrified. But if I remove my rubbered plastic tube, the electric pendulum goes to the vertical again. So I don't know if it is charged or not. In this one, just looking at it, I can see that it is charged because the strip is up. Okay. Now comes the most important experiment. Take notice because this is very, very simple, but this is the most important one of today. So I charge it more. Take notes, both of you, please. And then I will touch it first with a plastic straw that I didn't rub, okay? Didn't do anything. And I will just touch it here. Nothing happens, okay?
Nothing happened.
I'm just touching it here. Nothing happens to the strip, okay? I will just electrify it longer again. Now I will touch my cardboard with a metal wire. Okay? Take notes. Later on you can repeat. I will just touch it. I will just touch it from here. Let me just electrify it a little more.
Okay.
So he's charging it up again.
Yes, and now I will really touch it with my metal wire.
Can we guess what it's? Oh, wait a second.
That just took all the charge.
I will repeat the experiment. I will repeat, okay? So it discharged when I touch it with a metal wire. So I will repeat it. I will charge it again.
Yes. Charge.
So it is charged, okay?
But it didn't charge it.
Just wait a moment. Later on we discuss. Now I will touch it with a plastic tube that I didn't do anything.
What the hell is going on?
Nothing happens, okay? I can stay here. I can stay here. Now I will touch it with some metal, okay? Metal wire. The moment I touch it, it discharges.
Wait.
Why?
Wait. It was doing just the opposite when we're doing the pendulum thing.
Yes, I know. But let me just do it again. So this is extremely simple. But this is the most important of today. I believe an experiment of this kind is the most important in the history of electricity, the discovery that it brings about.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Yeah.
Okay, it's electrified. Then I touch it with my... Nothing happens.
Nothing.
Okay? Nothing. I can stay here. Okay. Now I just touch it with some metal.
Freaking
Immediately
voodoo, man.
it discharges. So these experiments allows us to make a different classification. the substances which do not discharge the electroscope, like a plastic, they are called insulators. And the substance which discharge my electroscope when I hold it in my hands, like this metal wire, they are called conductors.
Okay.
So these instruments allows us to classify substances as insulators and conductors. And this is not the same. Gilbert had given the name electrics and non-electrics. What he did call electrics is what we nowadays call insulators. What he did call non-electrics is what we call conductors. Okay?
That's crazy.
But
that's crazy.
You see,
because what he did to say that they are electrics and non-electrics looks like it's just swapped with what we consider
the opposite, because no one knew about the existence of conductors and insulators. Not even Isaac Newton, the great Isaac Newton, something which seems very basic to us. It took more than 2,000 years until someone did discover this. It was not in this way that the discovery was made. I'm showing just a very simple instrument which allows us to make this distinction, okay? Which is this electroscope, which is a very simple instrument.
That's
but
crazy.
To me, this discovery of conductors and insulators is the most important discovery in the history of electricity.
Right,
the most
because
important one.
Right, and I've heard you say this before, and excuse me, I mean, if you're going to say it, but I wanted to say it too. The reason it's the most important is because it allows for wiring.
Yes, of course. It allows many things.
I mean, without that, without realizing, we would just
it
run
allows,
copper wires.
In the first place, it allows the storing. We can store electricity or electric charge, whatever name we give, but we can store it, just like here. If I just, the charge is stored, you see? It is stored in my electroscope.
How long will it stay there? Is it minutes again?
It depends on the day. It can stay 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, half a minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds. It depends on many things. Usually when the weather is wet, when it is raining and so on, it does not stay longer. The drier is the atmosphere, the better, okay?
Is it because the moisture is also a conductor and it's stealing the charge away?
Matt. Sure, Matt. But you see, nowadays, why I say that this is the most important discovery. Nowadays, whenever we think about electricity, we think about metals, right?
Yeah.
Because they are everywhere in our transmission lines, in our home sockets or outlets, in lightning rods, in any electric motors, we have coils and so on. Everything is made of metals. But for 2,000 years, the metal, no one could ever electrify a piece of metal. No one. And so people did try many ways. As I did showed here, you can rub it and you do not make anything. You do not spin a versorium, you do not attract bits of paper. So people thought, well, why do I rub amber or a plastic and it attracts? Some people thought, well, maybe you are heat. They always thought it was related to heat. Maybe heat did open some pores in the material and it did eject
electricity
particles or effluvium or something.
Yeah, they thought it was a fluid, right? Like a liquid?
Fluid, yes. But it was always connected with heat because we need to rub it. So people did try to rub a piece of metal. People did hammer it just to make it red hot, and did approach it to paper bead. Nothing happens. People did utilize magnifying glasses, okay, to put the focus of the light in the metal to heat it, and nothing happens. People did put the metal in the oven, or you did burn a flame below a metal and then put it hot below to see if you attract paper beads or if you spin a versor. Nothing did happen.
And
So
when I
for
put it in the
2000
microwave,
years,
Ah, the wonders of science.
the example of non-electric material was metal. But now, before I go on, just Ben, he saw my presentation. Matt, I don't know, maybe yes, but not for both of you, but for the audience who is watching us on the internet later on, I will mention here 10 different substances, and I want each one to make a prediction, either write in a piece of paper or write in your cell phone. You make your prediction if each one of these materials, if they are insulators or conductors. Okay, I will list 10 different materials, and then we will make the experiments. Okay.
Okay.
The
Matt, you're going to want to write
conductors
this
will
down.
be those substances which will discharge my electroscope, and the insulators will be just my plastic which do not discharge it. Conductors will be just like my piece of wire which did discharge it, and insulators will be just my plastic straw which didn't discharge it. Okay, so I will mention here the 10 different substances. I will repeat later on, okay? But then when I say, people note down each name, and at the side of it write conductor or insulator, as you guess, okay? So I will mention. The first one is the human body, just like my skin. I will touch the electroscope.
flesh.
The second substance is rubber, okay? The third substance is wood. The fourth substance is glass. The fifth substance is paper. The sixth substance is cork. The seventh substance is cotton. The eighth substance is silk. The ninth substance is amber. And the 10th substance is water. Not salty water or seawater, just fresh water from the tap or mineral water that we drink. Okay? Each one who is watching me on the internet, please write down these 10 names, and at the side of it write what you believe, what you guess, conductor or insulator for each one of them. Okay? Then I will do the experiments and we will discover. But it is very important that each one who is watching me now first make the prediction. Please.
Do it!
Strongly.
Do it.
Okay, so who is watching us at the internet, stop the video, make the predictions, and then after you made all the predictions, these 10 substances, you continue the video, because now I will do the experiments, okay? Who is watching us, stop the video, make the predictions, and then go ahead. And so now I will do the experiments, okay? Can I begin, Ben, Matt?
Yes, go ahead. Matt,
I've
you
got
got
mine
yours?
all predicted. Yep.
I got mine all predicted.
Okay.
I'm going to ace this bitch. You'll see.
So I already know what the answers are to almost all of these because I saw this, but I just did it again just going with what I would originally thought.
Every time that I do the experiment, I will charge it again, okay? So it will always begin electrified, okay?
All right.
So I electrify it here. I will show the first experiment, the human body. I will just touch at the cardboard with my finger, okay? Give a look at the strip.
It rubs the finger on the cardboard.
So it goes down. So the human body is a conductor.
Woo! Yay!
One for
Got it. Okay.
Now let's go. Don't need to show yours.
I've been shocked enough.
Sorry. Matt, block that out.
Now, so the second one, rubber. I will make the experiment with two kinds of rubber. The first is my flip-flop sandal, okay, made of rubber. Discharge. So it is a conductor, okay? I will make the experiment with a different kind of rubber. Okay.
Did you get that one, Matt?
Different. This is an eraser, okay, made of rubber, okay. Now just touch it here.
Erasers are made of rubber?
Discharge.
Well, but could your flesh touching that have anything to do with it?
Ben, I don't know in USA, but even in Portuguese, in Brazil, we call eraser rubber. The name of the eraser is just rubber. So we always believe
we use rubber for something else.
But I don't know exactly. But this flip-flop, this is made of rubber. We can tie this with a rubber tire and so on. They all discharge, okay, my electroscope. So rubber is a conductor.
All right.
So let us go to the third one, wood. So I always charge it here. A wood, I have a wooden skewer here, okay? Utilized for barbecue parties in Brazil, okay? I don't know which kind of wood is that, but it's just a common one that we find in the supermarket. I just touch it here. Discharge. So wood is also a conductor. To many people, this is a surprise, just like rubber, but they discharge an electroscope. So let's go to the fourth one, glass.
I actually knew that one because of experiments I did in my lab. In fact, we'll talk about it later, but that's the only reason I knew that. Otherwise, I would have guessed insulator.
The glass that they utilize is just a glass cup, okay? I just touch it here. So it also discharges. It is a conductor as well. So glass is a conductor.
Lies.
Okay.
Lies.
So let's go to another one. The next one is paper. I will do the experiment with 3 different kinds of paper, okay?
I got them all from here out, though.
The first one is a office paper, okay? Office paper. I just touch it here.
Completely an insulator, obviously.
Conductor. Excellent conductor.
What the freak?
I will now make with a different kind of paper. Now I will do it with a cardboard, okay?
I'm thinking this is Brazilian paper.
I will do it with a cardboard, okay?
Brazilian witchcraft.
Cardboard, conductor.
Cardboard did it too.
Oh no!
You've got witchcraft paper there, Andre.
Now with a tissue paper, okay? Kite paper.
Give me something to cry on. They're gonna stick us in special ed after this.
No kidding.
This is my kite paper, okay?
I have to rename my company Stupid Science.
Brazilian kite paper.
Here.
What the crap?
As well. Very good conductor. So now let's go to cork. Cork is very important in the history of science. Later on I can tell why. But I will touch it with a cork now.
No! Ancient.
With a cork, okay? We'll just touch it here.
Expelliarmus! Oh my God.
Conductor as well. Everyone thinks that cork is an insulator, but it is a conductor.
Yes.
Now let's go to cotton. Cotton, I can do it with my shirt, but I will just touch it with a sewing thread, okay? A spool of sewing thread, okay?
Clearly an insulator.
Touch it here. So let us do it here.
This one I'm going to get right because
this is an insulator.
Yeah.
And just touch
Better
it
be an
here.
insulator.
Read them and weep, people.
Conductor as well. Discharge my electroscope. As soon as I touch it here, it discharges.
Shit. Lies. Brazilian lies.
Brazilian lies. Andre,
Yes,
you're
maybe,
taking us out here.
Now I will touch with silk. Silk, I will also touch it with a spool of silk thread. Okay.
Who knows now?
I'm just changing everything.
Just as I did
conductor.
touch with my cotton, I will just charge it again so that everyone can see. Now I will touch it with my silk thread.
It's probably going to go down, and it doesn't.
Nothing happens. I will just charge it longer, higher.
I said
Andre,
conductor on that. God, I got that one wrong.
Higher.
Is this 100% silk?
Yes, it is. It's not becoming a long time now, so it is not so easy.
100%.
It's discharging faster my electroscope at the moment. I'm a long time in this room here, so it's a little more humid, so it is discharging by itself. But I just touch it here.
That's what's going on.
I'm going to do my positron dance here in a second.
With my silk thread, it does not discharge. So silk is an insulator.
God.
Amber, I don't have it here with me, but when we do try it, it is an insulator as well. It does not discharge my electroscope. And the last one is water.
Wait. What did I miss Amber? What happened to Amber?
Amber, I don't have it here, Matt.
Oh,
but
okay.
but when we do the experiment, it does not discharge. So it is an insulator.
I got that one wrong too.
I got that one wrong too.
Now the last one is water. I will to do the experiment.
Conductor.
I will put here.
If this isn't a conductor, I'm gonna throw a temper tantrum.
If this isn't a conductor, I'm gonna throw my radio into the bathwater.
I will put here, maybe here, a glass of water.
All right.
Okay.
There it is, Matt. Getting ready to throw it in the tub.
I will electrify my electroscope, and I will just touch the corner of it and in the water. I will not touch the glass, okay? Only the water to see what happens to the strip, okay? So I will first charge it. It's discharging fast now, but it is electrified, as you can see.
Is it because of all that water there?
Because I'm breathing here, so all the time. And when I just touch it here, immediately it discharges.
Wow.
I will repeat.
Which means it's a
conductor.
It's a. Say it, Andre.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No, you just did it. Say it. I want to see if I survived.
Okay. So I just touched the corner. At the moment I touch it, discharge. So, okay, just touch it here. Immediately it discharges.
Well, I got that one right.
So it's say it for all of us. Because if I say it, won't matter, but I want to hear you say it.
So
he's not jumping through your hoop spin.
He's not. Andre, tell us, is water an insulator or a conductor?
I will tell you nothing.
He's still making us wait. Andre, tell us, is my mic not on?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, it is.
It's great.
Andre, is water an insulator or a conductor?
Conductor. Very good conductor.
Very good.
Hey!
Well,
So,
I
can we
flunked out.
all of these materials here, human body, conductor, rubber, conductor, wood, conductor, glass, conductor, paper, conductor, cork, conductor, cotton, conductor, water, conductor. Only silk and amber are insulators.
That's crazy.
Okay? And so this is the most important thing one of the most important things that I would like to tell the audience today. And so how many did you get right, Ben?
I only got 40% right.
40%. And you, Matt?
I got 2 right. 20%.
Okay.
They're gonna hold me back again.
But you see, this happens with almost anyone. I have asked this question. I have been asking it for 20, 30 years now, everywhere.
Oh,
in
good.
Brazil, for
I'm
children, for students, for high school teachers, university teachers, conference abroad. Everyone. Normally, people make 70, 80% mistakes. Normally. Wow. Everyone thinks rubber, cork, glass, paper, everything is insulator. Everyone. Water, everything people think. But in reality, for electrostatics, all of these materials, they are conductors. So the main message today to the audience is that when I say a piece like wood like that, it does not make sense to say it is an insulator or it is a conductor. The correct way of saying is it behaves as an insulator or behaves as a conductor, depending in particular to the voltage difference that we apply to the extremities of this material. In electrostatics, I won't go into the details here, but easily we have voltages between let's say my electroscope and the ground of the order of 8,000, 10,000 volts. For these high voltages, a piece of wood behaves as a conductor. Rubber behaves as a conductor. Paper, fresh water behaves as conductors. But if I have a 3-volt battery, or if I'm dealing with a voltage of my outlet, 110 volts, 220 volts, all of these materials, they behave like insulators.
Why?
But for electrostatics, as we are dealing easily with 10,000 volts or even more sometimes, these materials, they behave as conductors. And this is the main reason when students, when they try to make some experiments which some textbooks mention, they never work. Because essentially, the experiments of electrostatics, they only work when we have proper insulation. And the proper insulation nowadays is essentially only with plastic. With all other materials, they don't behave as insulator for electrostatics. And so when people try, for instance, I showed to you my electric pendulum. This is a very simple instrument, but you can only see attraction, contact, and repulsion if the disc is made of a conductor and the thread is made of an insulator. So the thread of this pendulum is not only to support the disc against gravity, but it is to prevent the grounding of the disc with the earth.
So is the thread silk?
So this thread is made of silk. So I cannot make an electric pendulum like that with a thread made of cotton. So this device is simple, but hidden in it, there is a huge amount of knowledge.
Yes.
For electrostatics specifically. So this needs to be an insulator. So it can be nylon thread, polyester thread, polyamide thread, or silk thread, but it cannot be cotton thread because cotton behaves as conductor. And the disc cannot be made of plastic. Otherwise, you will not see attraction, contact, and repulsion, which I showed here. So the disc can be made of aluminum foil, like this one, or a paper disc, office paper disc. It works fine as well. But the most important aspect is that the thread needs to be made of silk or polyester or nylon, an insulator. Yes, Ben?
Professor, I've got two things. So this is my version of your pendulum, right? And this is the thread I used. This is the spool it came off of. And as I looked in here, and it says it is a polyester core cotton.
So by chance yours was made of insulator.
But it's got cotton too.
It says polyester core cotton. It doesn't say how much. But
yeah, so you need to try it to see if discharge or not your electroscope.
So that one does repel it. So I'm thinking that the amount of polyester in it might be bigger
higher
than the amount of cotton in it.
Yes, yes.
Right.
So probably this spool, Ben, will not discharge the electroscope. But in order to see the experiment, you need to have a more sensitive electroscope than your own, because yours is not becoming highly charged. And so
I can still hear you. Okay. Is that sensitive enough, do you think?
I think so.
Because that's the one I just bought.
Yes, I don't know. You see, Ben, before you begin, the crucial element, no, you can show your electroscope. The crucial element of your electroscope is this yellow cap. No, above, yes. This is plastic or something similar, I guess. This is the most important thing. The electroscope will only work because you need to have an insulator to prevent it from grounding. The glass that you are holding probably should behave as a conductor, so it does not insulate from the ground. So if this electroscope is a good one, the yellow cap is the crucial aspect of it, because it will be the insulator.
Makes sense.
I'm not going to do it now, but I'm going to test that later, and we'll share those results with everybody here with you.
So you can try to charge it and see if your spool of thread discharge it or not. But first you need to see if it remains electrified. So it looks like a little conductor as well. So it's not so good insulator. But another aspect then, your thread of your pendulum is fixed in a plastic tube. Where's, yes, this one.
Oh, you can't. Let me see if I can bend the camera. No, it's attached to a plenum, a metal. It's attached to.
Yes, so this is grounding. Yes. So, but as you are seeing the contact and repulsion, it's not so good a conductor, your thread. Okay.
Right, and it's a mixture, and we don't know what the percentages are. We don't know if it's more cotton or more polyester.
Let me show you another thing. This instrument here, this electroscope, very sensitive electroscope. The science of it, the most important aspect of this electroscope is the plastic straw. This is the insulator which allows it to store electric charges.
Right.
And the cardboard and the tissue strip, they are conductors.
Right.
So, so the most important aspect of the electroscope, it cannot be here. I cannot hold it with a wooden skewer, because wood behave as a conductor. So when I scratch here, if it is wood skewer, it will not store the charge because it will be grounded.
Right,
So,
it'll just conduct it out. Now,
yeah,
Ben, on
so
your polyester string,
the electroscope only works if you have an insulator for electrostatics.
right.
So essentially, it needs to be essentially plastic.
Otherwise, it all gets away.
It can be an acrylic ruler if it is not easy to find a plastic straw in the US or in Europe. You can utilize a plastic ruler, no problems, to hold it here. But you cannot hold it with wood, okay? Because most kinds of wood, they behave as conductors. Oh, yes, Matt?
Andre, there was one other thing. Oh, Matt, you wanted to say something.
Go
what
ahead,
were you going to say?
Well, okay, it's about your string. So it's part polyester and it's part cotton, but it isn't the quantity, is it? It just means that the polyester has to make contact. So if any part of the polyester is making contact, it should take the charge out, right? It provides a pathway. So as long as any of that polyester is in contact, the energy will flow through the polyester, and the cotton is kind of irrelevant in the mix, isn't it? Unless the cotton is between the material and the polyester.
No, it's the opposite, Matt. The opposite, Matt. The energy or the charge will flow through cotton, not through the polyester.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
Okay. So, Andre, the other thing that I wanted to point out, and I wanted to verify something that you said about 3 minutes ago, how it depends on, you said the wooden skewer acts like an insulator and acts like a conductor. I actually did that myself to verify that. This is my wooden skewer, and the reason it's burned is because I had 2 electrodes. I had 10,000, it was either a 10,000 volt neon sign transformer, and here was one electrode, here was the other. There was a space between them, right? So the gap was too big for it to arc. There was no arc there. But when I stuck this in between it, it arced. It acted like a conductor and started the arc. But at the same time, I was holding it with my bare hands and not getting any shock. So on this end, the high voltage end, it was a conductor. And on the low voltage end, it was an insulator. That is absolutely right.
Wait, slow down and break that down for my smooth brain. Why does that happen? What do you mean your end is...
You asked the bad question again, Matt. You asked why.
Well, you said low voltage on your end. Why is your end low? Because the transformer is a huge amount of voltage.
Right, because we have voltage as a body. You know, our flesh has voltage. It's just not 10,000 volts.
So why wouldn't it push that voltage into you through the stick?
Matt and Ben, I will not do the experiments here, but I will just tell the audience if they wish. I have here a very simple circuit. I have 2 AA batteries giving me 3 volts. I have a lamp, and I have the connecting wires. Okay? When I just close the circuit, here, the lamp turns on. Okay? So in this case, I can also classify substance as conductors or insulators. How can I do that? I just let a gap here, and I can close the gap with any kind of substance. When I close the gap with a piece of metal, the lamp turns on. When I close the gap with a plastic tube, the lamp does not turn on.
Okay, good.
So again, we have a metal is conductor and plastic is an insulator. Okay, but now I can repeat the experiment with, yes, Matt?
Why doesn't the 3 volts go up the metal rod into your finger and shock you?
Because I will connect, I will just make one experiment here, Matt, to answer your question. I will close the gap with my finger.
Okay.
Okay, to see if it turns on or not the light. Okay, this is the first of the 10 substances I gave.
Okay.
For electrostatics, I showed that it did discharge my electroscope. So my body, my skin, is a conductor for electrostatics.
Okay.
So if it is a conductor, it will turn on the light.
All right,
if
let's
it
see
is
it.
an insulator, it will not turn on the light. So I will contact my finger between this piece of wire and the metal here.
Okay.
It's not easy to see at the camera, but anyone can do this experiment at home.
Good luck, buddy.
So I just touch it here. Nothing happens to the lamp.
Nothing.
I'm touching it with my finger. The 2 connections that the lamp does not turn on. So my skin, my finger, is an insulator for 3 volts. But it is a conductor for 10,000 volts between the electroscope and the ground, because it discharged the electroscope.
So it's just a matter of
conduct high enough current to turn on this lamp.
So this is usually described in terms of resistance, that your finger has a higher resistance, but that's not quite the answer, is it?
Yeah, well, in simple terms, I can just classify conductor or insulator. Conductor, discharge my electroscope or turns on the light. Insulator, does not discharge my electroscope and does not turn on the light. So just in simple terms, okay?
So is this kind of like if you're wearing a raincoat and it's raining on you, you won't get wet because there's just not that much water. But if somebody turns a fire hose on you and blasts you with that, you're going to get wet whether you're wearing a raincoat or not. Is it just the amount of voltage that forces its way through?
Yes, this is the main aspect of it.
Okay.
But there is also the amount of current which will flow. Then it has to do with resistance and so on and so on. But the most important thing is that when you have a very high voltage, you have a very high force acting on the electrified particles, and they will move or not through the material. Okay, but you have other aspects which influence as well. But as I said, if we do the experiment, anyone can do it at home. Just make a connection with a lamp. It can be nowadays it's not so easy to find these lamps in the stores, but you can buy a light emitting diode LED. They are very cheap, 50 cents or so. You can buy a bunch of them, and there are some LEDs which turn on with 3 volts or 1.5 volts, and so you can make a circuit just like that. And you first make the connection with metal to make sure that your lamp or your LED turns on. Then you remove the piece of metal and then try different connections with different materials. And all of these materials, which I did mention here, the human body, rubber, wood, glass, paper, cork, cotton, silk, water, all of them, they will be insulators for 3 volts. But almost all of them, they are conductors for 10,000 volts.
So there's got to be some chart somewhere where somebody has compiled what materials are insulators up to what voltage, and then they turn it into conductors.
Absolutely, there are. It's called the breakdown voltage. In electronics, they have books that tells you the thickness of your insulation, and if you exceed that, you get a short circuit. That's the breakdown voltage. That's that's absolutely known.
I guess
but that's only for breakdown, Ben. For usually in the textbooks, they just say, rubber is an insulator.
Right.
Wood
Right.
is an insulator. Everything they say. And so cork, everything say in the textbooks. Insulate anything in electrostatics with wood, with cork, with paper. And so it doesn't work. And so, let me go back. Why this discovery is the most important of electricity in my mind?
Yeah, why answer?
Nowadays, everything connected with electricity has to do with metal. It is in our transmission lines, in our motors, in the sockets or outlets in our homes, lightning rods. But for 2,000 years, no one could electrify metal, could do anything related with electricity with metal. Also, they tried many times. It was only a guy called Stephen Gray. This Stephen Gray was a contemporary of Isaac Newton. We almost don't hear about him, but it was this guy who made this discovery of conductors and insulators. And he was the first guy who succeeded in electrifying metals. He was the first guy who succeeded that because he could insulate the metal, and then he didn't know about that, but he could polarize his piece of metal, negative on one side and positive in the other, or the other way around, depending on what was here. And then the other extremity could attract bits of paper, finally.
Yeah.
So
how did he do it? What did he do to do that?
And there is a long series of experiments. I discussed them in the appendix of this book. There is an appendix on Stephen Gray and the discovery of conductors and insulators, describing all his experiments. I won't go into the details here, Ben, but but I suggest, as I said in the beginning, please, who is watching me, just don't go and read the appendix and so on. Try to do the experiments chapter by chapter before you read the appendix, so that you can appreciate how much did this guy achieve, this Stephen Gray, how huge was the step, the advancement he gave to the science of electricity with this discovery. For instance, in the cover of this book is another experiment by Stephen Gray. This is a boy, and there is a guy at here, which is holding a glass tube, electrified glass tube. And when he approached the electrified glass tube to the feet of the boy, the hands of the boy attract small bits of paper.
Wow.
Okay?
Was that what those
This
are?
is the floating boy experiment.
You don't want to get in trouble at that guy's house.
The crucial aspect of this experiment are the threads holding the boy.
Silk.
They are insulating threads.
Ben, you got 8 kids.
A cord, a normal cord made of any kind of material. They must be an insulating thread. And instead of the boy, you can put a piece of metal here, a bar of metal.
Oh,
and
what fun is that?
The metal
Boring.
will attract the bits of paper, okay? This was the kind of experiment which this Stephen Gray did. But the most important thing is that he did discover that there are some materials which do not allow the flowing of electricity through them. And so you can store and conduct electricity through some kinds of materials, provided that you have insulators. The same thing is in our transmission lines. We have a power station in Niagara Falls, and it goes until New York City and so on. But it is the same kind of thing, because to support the power lines, we have ceramic insulators all over the way, kilometers and kilometers, to avoid the grounding. So it is the same kind of thing as these insulating threads here.
Yeah.
And this was the discovery of Stephen Gray. He was a contemporary of Isaac Newton, Matt. And he was a dyer as a profession. He was an Englishman. He was a very poor guy. He never went to university. When he made this discovery, he was 65 years old. He was living from 53 or 54 until he died 70 years old in a charitable home for poor people, supported either by the British state or by the donors of this charitable house.
Well, he probably had trouble getting funding after he invented the first power lines made out of little
get
boys.
any kind of funding. He did do experiments with a glass tube, which survived when he died. In his estate, what he left, yes, it was a glass tube and a few other very simple materials. And by chance, the glass tube which he had was, in the first place, an excellent insulator, because he did make the experiment holding the glass tube in his hands.
Yeah.
If I try to do the experiments with this glass, which is in my hand here, I can rub it here, Matt. But if I approach bits of paper, they will not attract anyone. I will not spin my versorium. Why not? Because most glasses nowadays, they behave as conductors. So even when I rub, maybe it becomes electrified, but immediately, as I am a conductor, it is grounded. So it loses its charge immediately after I rub it here.
Well, how do you do it with his glass tube then?
Because it did work for him. Because the glass tube, which he did have, did behave as an insulator. It was a very specific kind of glass which he did utilize. But before he began his experiment without knowing about conductors and insulators, but he knew that with that kind of glass, he could do the amber effect.
Right.
He didn't know conductors and the insulators. He was working for 20 years before he made this discovery.
Right.
It was just a convenient, just like as my plastic here.
Yeah,
but
and you can't use silver.
He didn't know conductors and insulators. It was his piece of amber, but it was very convenient. It was 1 meter long. He did hold it in his hand, and he did rub it with his bare hands. And it had two fascinating properties. The most important one was an excellent insulator. Otherwise, he wouldn't do any experiment because they would discharge immediately, because he told that he holds the glass tube in his bare hands, and he did rub it in his bare hands as well. So he only could do so many experiments in the first place because his specific glass tube was an excellent insulator. And not only that, it was a kind of flint glass which had just been invented in England for other reasons. And this kind of glass had another very important property, because when he did rub it in his hand, it did acquire a huge amount of surface charge. So he could obtain huge electrostatic effects, even larger than we can find nowadays with our plastic tubes.
What was with his glass tube?
I don't know. It is a specific glass tube which had these properties. It was an excellent insulator, and it was not only that, it did have the property to, by friction, to acquire an even larger charge density than my piece of glass here, than the usual piece of amber, because sometimes he describes attractions by a distance of 20 centimeters, 30 centimeters, and so on. So it was a very high amount of surface charge. But the most important aspect was that his glass tube was an excellent insulator. Not only his, later on, Benjamin Franklin began to do his experiments with a glass tube, which he received as a gift. And the same thing happened. The glass tube of Benjamin Franklin was an excellent insulator and also did acquire a huge amount of surface charge by friction, which nowadays it does not happen. If I have a glass tube, it can be homemade or that one that we buy by a chemical or physical experiment. Normally they will not work because most glass tubes, just my glass cup, they behave as conductors. So when we read in the textbooks, every textbooks begin, rub a glass tube in a wool, and then the glass tube will become electrified and will attract bits of paper. But if any student try it nowadays, it will not work.
No, you have to get your glass tube at Ollivanders.
Yes, that would be the case, but that's crucial. And the textbook authors, they don't know about this. They just repeat one another, just like Kakatua and so on, just one repeat. And in most cases, even high university textbooks, the authors, they just one repeats the other, you rub a glass tube with wool and it becomes positive, let's say. But if you try any kind of experiment, it doesn't work. And the students always gets convinced that the fault is with him, not with the textbook. But this is not
never
the case.
question authority.
The fault is with the textbook, which does not give this information that nowadays for high voltages, most kinds of, not only of glass, as I said, wood, most kinds of woods, they behave as conductors, so it does not work. So
that's
many
right,
things.
they do.
And so this is crucial. That is a message which I would like to give today.
Absolutely. So Andre, Matt asked Matt, go ahead. Then I'll.
You go ahead. I forgot what I was going to say.
So Matt had a good question a few minutes ago when I was talking about the barbecue skewer, how it acted as a conductor through the 10,000 volts and started the arc, but it didn't shock me. So the question he asked is, why doesn't it travel through and shock me?
Yes, why indeed?
I think that's a great question.
Probably, I don't know, Ben, we need to see the details, but probably at the extremity, there was a lower resistance here than through the wooden stick until your hand. So most of the current did pass through here, and not
so there was
a
too much
small
resistance.
amount pass through there.
Too much resistance, it blocks it.
Yes, probably. I don't know.
So right, that makes sense. So the resistance from here to here, is a lot less.
He did the same thing with metal, with a metal wire, and completes a circuit to the lamp using metal wire. But metal wire is a conductor, so why isn't it? There's no resistance to keep it from flowing up to shock him in that case.
Oh no, that would absolutely shock me, and it has.
So how come it didn't shock him with the lamp? Is it just because it was too low a voltage, only 3 volts? It couldn't.
Too low a voltage. Too low a voltage.
Probably.
So metal does have some resistance.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
There is no perfect conductor and no perfect insulator.
Good point.
But the point, the textbook, sometimes they give the resistivity or the conductivity of the different materials. But this is not everything. Beyond that, it is necessary, I believe, to give this information that the behavior of the material, because the text just classify, conductors, insulators, and sometimes semiconductors and so on, as if this was everything once they were classified and that's it forever. That's not the case, because the behavior of the material depends not only on its intrinsic resistivity or conductivity, and also on its cross-section and length, as we learn by Ohm's law and so on, but also, and this is almost never mentioned in any textbooks, even university textbooks, on the voltage that you apply to the extremities of the material. And this is the most important thing. This is the reason why most of these experiments that the textbooks mention, they don't work when we try to do them in reality, because they don't, as I said, rub a glass tube in wool or in cotton or in silk, and then you attract. But you try, it doesn't, because the textbook authors, I don't will say all of them, but most of them, they don't know that the same material can behave as conductor or as insulator depending on the voltage difference that you apply to the extremities of the material.
See, this is where I object, because I can't imagine that the authors of textbooks don't know what they're talking about, because clearly black holes are real. I mean...
So, Andre, Matt and I are in a little group, a community called the Electric Universe, and the whole group of the Electric Universe is built on questioning what we read in textbooks. And
Yes.
we've all come to that same conclusion that, we can't believe everything that we read. There's clearly more stuff out there. And that's why a lot of us do a lot of experiments, which is why I love what you've done. I can't support your hands-on experimentation enough. It is just so good.
I think we showed many experiments today, Ben and Matt. I think we should finish now. I will just, if you allow me, just to tell the audience, if they give a look later on. So this book, the Experimental and Historical Foundations of Electricity, it has two volumes. So
we'll link it in the description.
Both of them, they are available in PDF format, free of charge in my homepage.
Wow.
In the second volume, I finished discussing mysteries of the Amber effect, or of electrostatics, that even nowadays, I believe that they have not yet been clarified. I will not discuss them here today, but there are many. I could be here a whole day discussing these mysteries, which I, Andre Assis, don't know the answers. Also, I have been dealing with plasma physics, electricity for 40 years now. But there are many things on these basic phenomena that I myself, I don't know the answers. I know some of them, which I did discuss here, but there are many, even in the oldest experiment, the Amber effect, which I don't know, okay? But the other, which I want to call attention to the audience, is this book, Coulomb's Memoirs on Torsion, Electricity, and Magnetism, translated into English, which I did publish with a colleague of mine, Louis Bucciarelli. Louis Bucciarelli is an engineering emeritus professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, in the USA.
Wow.
So we made this book, has 550 pages. So it has a full commented English translation of almost all of Coulomb's memoirs on the torsion balance, on his electricity experiments, magnetism experiments, and with more than, I don't know, 1,000 references, and full of footnotes and discussions, other chapters discussing. So he has 7 major memoirs on electricity and magnetism. But before that, he has some memoirs in which he discovered the law of torsion of a string, and so on, so that he built his torsion balance, an extremely sensitive instrument. And his memoirs, with the exception of 1 or 2, had never been translated into English, nor to any other language. Only a few of them into German, and 1 or 2 into English. So now, most of them, they are fully translated, commented, and so on into English. Oh, yes, this
is that like it? Is that what you're talking about?
Balance.
Is that an
Coulomb or Cavendish torsion balance. Excellent, Ben.
Yeah.
And so Coulomb has many papers on the torsion balance, describing his experiment, how did he discover the law, and so on. And so this book was also published in Canada by Apiron some years ago. And it is also, so people can order it and these others from Amazon if they wish them printed. But they are, all of them, they are freely, completely available in PDF format, free of charge in my homepage.
Beautiful.
So I would recommend strongly the people to read this material. And as regards this book, don't read them, please. Try to read at the same time when you do the experiments.
Right.
Because if you just read, you will learn something, but you will only really incorporate this knowledge. It will belong to you, will be part of yourself if you do that with your own hands. Some of them will not work, and you need to ask questions and so on. But this is the best way to really grasp science, become a scientist, and so on.
I couldn't agree more.
I just wish to thank you both, Ben Sparks and Matt Finn, for this opportunity to talk in your podcast, The Brainstorm. So I hope that people in the audience will enjoy it. But if you wish any comments or questions, please go ahead.
This will amaze our millions of followers. I have a question. But
last question, then we're gonna wrap up.
Okay, this is for you though, and it's more like the things we talk about. When a sun's polarity flips, does the jet of ions that are shooting out of the top then shoot out of the bottom once the pole flips?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But you are talking about the flipping of the magnetic poles of the sun, right?
Yes. Well, because I have this theory that when we look up at space, we're actually seeing the subatomic, like it's a fractal repeating pattern. So I think you should be able to study the subatomic by studying the galactic. And so I'm just curious, when a sun pole flips, does it start shooting that jet out the other way? And maybe does
that I really don't know, Matt. I need to but these are fundamental questions, and I like it, and because these questions, and I like your approach that the large scale phenomena sometimes they mirror the microscopic world or vice versa.
It does seem that way.
That we discover in the microscope. Just Ben another day showed me some Lichtenberg figures that he did make with his experiments, and these are just like discharges and so on, and these
electricity scales.
Nowadays we find these discharges in not only in quasars but even in planets and in galaxies, active galactic nuclei. So these are many electrical phenomena which sometimes they mirror something that we see in our own laboratory at home. And so this is just fascinating because this opens our mind. And so
it really is. Andre, that I would love to have you on again because there's more that we can cover. And this is a note that I wrote to myself when I was watching some of your other presentations. It says the fractal distribution of charge.
Yes, this is quite a new discovery that was only with this atomic force microscopy, Kelvin probes, that they did discover that. But this,
we'll leave that as a teaser.
This is one of these many mysteries that we still have with this just amber effect. So
I wonder how much the ancient Egyptians knew about this stuff. Do you remember the Andy Hall presentation where they're static electricity each other? Where they're shocking each other with the onks?
Yes.
I'll bet they had some of this stuff figured out too. Anyway, I know you got to go. So
okay.
Thank you so much, Andre. It was wonderful.
Thank you very much. We keep in touch. Bye.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Brainstorm with Sparks and Finn. Hope you learned something new or found some food for thought. If you did, take a second to smash that like and subscribe button and consider joining our Patreon to help Sparks and I spread the word. And then join us next time as we explore this amazing electric universe. Cheers!